Let's go to the next team here, Johnny. My good friend Duke.
We've got Duke.
Burrow, love it.
That wide receiver room's fucking nasty.
Oh, now we know where all the wide receivers are.
Fucking hell.
Oh my. Oh my.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Well, then he is. Obviously, he's got Jefferson
What
and
the
Addison.
hell is
so
this
obviously
running
Christian
back
McCaffrey can throw the ball.
I think I'm gonna have to send Duke a trade offer with one of my running backs.
No, fucking stop it.
God, Duke, get an offensive line there. You might get somebody. You might get. You might
I might
get
try
Bentley
to
from
sneak
Bateman. Go
in
for it.
Winston Junkins from Martin in the trade. 3-team trade.
You might get Allison.
No,
Bentley from
Gary sent
Bateman
me a
if you do it
trade.
now.
Oh shit.
Well, he said you're right, what you getting offered now? Let us know.
Oh no, Gary, I don't. Where'd you send it? I don't see any trades here, but I think
He
he's
might be
winding me
winding you
up,
up.
the asshole. Fuck you, Gary. So Martin is not sold on JSN. Now, it took me a long time to get there, but I think they would not have traded Metcalf if they were not confident that Jackson was the guy. Pez?
He is the guy. Like, Donald and Gino are pretty much exactly the same quarterback. Like, look at the stats from last year. They literally finished right next to each other in pretty much all the stats. So, if Gino can do it, you're pretty confident Donald's going to be able to do it. Like, and Jason, the thing what people forget about him because he kind of had a quiet rookie year. Like, people just forget what he's like capable of doing. Like, because he comes from Ohio State, and then last year you had Marvin Harrison come out, and all these like just factory line of wide receivers that come out of that school. You just kind of the old ones kind of get forgot about, and then you're like, all right, yeah, he is just really good. It wasn't a fluke last year. He's just a really good football player. So, Martin, go on swivel.
Yeah,
we'll talk about them.
I think Duke could have a surprise with Javonte, and I think it's a good pick in the 9th round as a flyer. The Cowboys.
Is that a 1-yard rusher?
The Cowboys are going to run the ball. They're going to have a 1,000-yard rusher with between 5 and 10 TDs. They are. That's just how their offense is made with that offensive line to free up CD. Javonte could be that guy. People forget he did have a great rookie year, and he did go over 1,000 yards in his next year. He's not. He played on some really bad Denver Bronco offensive teams that had some washed up. Well, Russell Wilson at the time at the quarterback in one of the worst offenses in the NFL, with Hackett as the offensive coordinator. I think taking Williams as a flyer is a good choice. Pez, am I talking crazy?
No, I do. I think I agree with you. People kind of forget like the injury he suffered, and he kind of came back straight away and played like from a normal like ACL. People say it takes a full season for them to fully recover. I think he destroyed everything when he took his injury. So, and then you've got to add in Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton just fucking hated him. So, but that's another thing you chuck in there.
Haldane makes a good point. Duke has told me so many times or asked me, why am I picking players from the same team? Because they're going to eat each other's targets or touches, right? And then Duke, as Haldane points out, has Jefferson, Addison on the same. I mean, the top 2 wide receivers. Are you going to play them on the same week? And then you got Hawkinson. But now Duke doesn't have Hawkinson, but I don't know. Is it good to have Addison and Jefferson on the same team?
when you look at it in the for me personally in the first and fifth round, like I'm not a big like I know some people like to do the wide receiver, quarterback wide receiver combinations and stuff in their teams. Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't think of the word, and I'm not a big fan of it, but I do understand it because he's got so much depth. Yeah, in best ball, that's a different story. Just pick a whole team's offense who you think's going to be good and roll. But it does make sense in this way. Like he's got to play 3 wide receivers, so you'd say Jefferson, Brian Thomas, and JSN is going to be his 3 starters. Addison's just there just in case something happens to Jefferson because he's the next. He's the next man up. So in a way, it does make sense. And being a dynasty for the future, you just don't know what's going to happen with like salary cap stuff like that. Like if they keep on just being mediocre, is JSN going to want? Is Justin Jefferson going to want to go to a contender and move out of there? And then you kind of sat there, you're losing one of the best wide receivers in the league, and then his number 2 becomes the 1, and you go watch someone else like capitalise from that. So I think whilst he's got the availability, you can just leave him on his bench, and if anything happens to Jefferson.
He has proved that he can step up to the 1 when Jefferson's been injured. Addison has shown well.
So what last thought from me here, I think with Tucker Kraft, Jefferson still, Thomas and Najiba, and Trayvon Henderson and Burrow, he has a very solid core to compete this year and in the future. I think Duke did very well.
Pat Bryant as well. I'll just chuck one for the future here. Like I like Dylan Sampson, Trayvon Henderson. I think it's going to be brilliant. But Pat Bryant for the Seahawks, I think he's another one with Horton. Them two could really leapfrog a lot of wide receivers we've already got in that roster. So that's a good little stash taxi squad. 2 years, you can see what you get from him. You don't need to worry about him. I'm just going to answer Michael's question because he's put here about JSN and Cooper Kupp. It is something that intrigues me as well, and I'm guessing we'll only get the idea from training camp because they're very similar guys with the way they play. But personally, Sam Darnold scares the shit out of me. Like I'm not sold after 1 year. He's fully back to being, when you look at his circumstance last year and who his head coach was, like you're essentially saying that Clint Kubiak is on the same level as O'Connell when it comes to coaching, and they're not on the same level as coaching. You know what I mean? So I think the whole thing with JSN and Cooper Kupp, I think they're going to keep everything short to intermediate with Sam Darnold. Get it out quick, get it out fast. And I think Cooper Kupp and JSN both will help him in that regard.